Hello everybody, my name is Davis and welcome back to another video, and today we are here for another severe weather breakdown, back with Mr. Storm.
Hey everybody.
If his audio is a little glitchy, it's because for some reason his audio wasn't working for me on Zoom, so we're calling with our audio through Discord, but I have his face cam on Zoom, so if there's a little bit of lag, like if it's ahead or behind, that's why. But we're going to be doing this severe weather breakdown today. We're going to be talking about some upcoming major storms and then also a ongoing wildfire in Colorado. So let's go and start off with the SPC outlook. We have been downgraded to a marginal risk. People that watch my forecast from earlier today will know that we are at a slight risk. We saw a pretty significant MCS through Nebraska and Kansas today. But this marginal risk still does have a 2% tornado threat for portions of Oklahoma and Kansas there. That is going to go all the way from the Fort Sill area almost back into northeast Kansas there. Damaging wind threat. You have a 5% chance to see wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or higher in your area there. If you are anywhere in that brown, again, that goes all the way from like Nebraska back down to Texas. It's a pretty large area. And then the hail threat, we do not have one for the rest of the night. Now, tomorrow, we're going to have another marginal risk of severe weather from this same system. Tornado threat for tomorrow. Again, if you're in that green area there across parts of the lower Mississippi Valley, that's a 2% chance to see a tornado in your area there. So have a tornado action plan in place. Damaging wind threat, 5% chance of wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or higher in your town tomorrow. I do think that we will see some significant wind gusts. Today, we actually got a couple of 75 plus mile per hour readings, but hail threat for tomorrow, all right, that's a 5% risk as well. You have a 5% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger in your town. So, Mr. Storm, what are you thinking about for tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow's gonna definitely be, I think, there's gonna be at least a small chance of seeing severe weather. I do think that tornado threat and the hail threat will be much lower than today because those prefrontal warm cells at this point have joined together into that line of storms, and that, therefore, they would be producing more of a damaging wind threat. Alright, so that damaging wind threat is still relatively low, but it could actually end up getting upgraded to a 15% risk. It's possible, but I think tomorrow's going to be pretty much the same kind of deal as what we saw today, except a lower tornado and hail threat, and I guess just a lower overall threat for severe weather.
All right, so we're not even close to done there, all right? Monday, that's a slight risk of severe weather. It's a very large one across a good chunk of Texas, northwest Louisiana, southwest Arkansas, and southeastern Oklahoma, kind of just southern Oklahoma in general. And you may realize this blocks a portion of the path of totality for millions of people. So if you are in the slight risk of severe weather and the path of totality, unfortunately, your view of the eclipse is likely going to be ruined because of this massive storm on the horizon. And not only do we already have a slight risk for Monday, we also have a hatched risk. Now, because this is on day 3, we don't know if that hatched risk is for wind or hail, but either way, we're going to be seeing something significant most likely on Monday. We may see an upgrade to an enhanced risk at the minute. It's really unknown. What do you think about for Monday?
Yeah, Monday's going to be a big day. Monday's going to play, and I think that it could be actually dangerous because there will be a lot of people that still really, I mean, this eclipse is going to be very, very exciting, and this is going to be once in a lifetime for a lot of people. But we have a legit and a big severe threat. And like David said, this could get upgraded to an enhanced risk. And remember, an enhanced risk is level 3 out of 5. We've had some enhanced risk days in the past where we've had some pretty decent outbreaks. And this is definitely going to be for those major populated cities that are in the path of totality. So I think it's very dangerous that we have a very real chance for severe weather, including a lot of people that will be outdoors to be viewing the eclipse. And I'm just saying, like, a lot of people could get caught off guard, and people could actually end up literally ignoring the real threat for severe weather.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And now you may be thinking, oh, day 3 slight risk, big deal, right? Well, day 4 slight risk, Tuesday. It's another slight risk of severe weather for basically the same area. Now you're like, okay, well,
Not extended.
yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, to the east. So we'll see that continue with day 5, I think day 5, day 6. We'll see.
Yeah, so that's what I was just about to say. Day 4, you're like, okay, day 4 slight risk. That's a pretty big deal, but it's not that rare. Well, what about a day 5 slight risk? And then after that, even through the south central United States, we have a day 6 slight risk for the southeastern United States. We could be looking at nearly a week in a row of a slight risk of severe weather every day, which is a big deal, and that is going to bring some serious problems to portions of the Red River Valley, the Mississippi Valley, pretty much.
Remember, And remember, any of these days has the potential to get upgraded to an enhanced risk. So basically, we have whatever it is, like 4 or 5 days in a row of days that could literally get upgraded to an enhanced level 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather. So we're not going to call this a multi-day severe weather outbreak, but this is a very significant multi-day severe weather event. It's these train of storms, these very slow-moving storms that are back to back and they're right up on each other's heels. So that's kind of the reason why we're seeing day to day severe weather. But yeah, it's very interesting to see how we have so many back to back to back to back, whatever it is, slight risks.
Yeah, for sure. So, enough talking about the SPC. If you don't really understand the SPC, maybe the models here will give you a better understanding of what kind of storm we're going to be looking at. So, right now, we got that pretty significant MCS event moving through Nebraska, Kansas. It's pretty much done. The main threat's going to be some isolated damaging winds for the rest of the night. Then that'll kind of move into the Mississippi Valley, like we talked about for tomorrow, where we have that marginal risk. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy at all, really. Maybe a few isolated storms, maybe a few severe. So, Monday, all right? It's not really showing too much for Monday on this specific model until you get into the evening time hours where we do have those isolated discrete supercells popping off in Texas here. And by 9 p.m. on Monday, I know it says Tuesday up there, but this is actually Monday. This is likely going to cause some significant problems for portions of northeast Texas, southwest Oklahoma, pretty much the entirety of the south central United States there near the Red River Valley. And then by Tuesday, this becomes an even bigger deal. All right, Tuesday, we talked about how there's another slight risk for good reason. We're going to be talking about widespread severe storms all the way from Kentucky back down into Texas. All right, now that's going to be a pretty big problem, all right? And then going into Wednesday, we see that still persists. This model does not even look far enough out for what we need to, but we can see even Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday alone, it's going to be intense. So what are you thinking about this, Mr. Storm?
Yeah, I mean, it does look a little messy to me, but just the fact that we're seeing just regeneration of these storms and just like usually what you'll get is you'll get at least like 1 or 2 lines of storms, but in this case we're just getting a huge moisture return. Therefore, we get a lot of storms that regenerate on the backside, like right there between the 8th and the 9th, pretty much overnight hours right there. You can see behind the low pressure center, we have a bunch of low pressure centers that are trying to develop here and there. That's going to help. Like, there's just a lot of things that are going to come together to help these storms continue to fire across the region. So it's going to be rapid fire for areas in the deep south. I'm worried for Texas all the way up through really Arkansas in the deep south and maybe the Dixie Alley as well. But, I mean, this is going to be a pretty widespread area that's just going to get this moisture return, and you're going to get a lot of different lines of storms that are going to fire across the region.
Yeah, for sure. So normally at this point, right, in my videos, we'd start to talk about watches, warnings, and advisories, kind of wrap up. But I do want to quickly mention we have an extreme fire danger risk here for portions of southeast Colorado, southwest Kansas, and the Oklahoma Panhandle. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, right, let's talk about the last time we had an extreme risk. The last time we had an extreme risk was earlier this year, and that extreme risk was the day that we had the biggest Texas wildfire ever. Okay, now this is not all. We already have an ongoing fire here up in northeast Colorado, which isn't even where the extreme risk was, by the way, but northeast Colorado, we do have a fire warning and some evacuation immediate warnings here, as you can see from the Boulder, Colorado National Weather Service there. So if you are included in an evacuation immediate or a fire warning, you need to be on high alert. You need to get out of there as far away as you can, all right? It's not going to slow down anytime soon either, unfortunately, because if we take a look, we actually have a critical risk for fire danger tomorrow, which is still a big deal, okay? So, what do you think about these fires?
Yeah, man. I mean, this is one of those really dangerous scenarios. And you see, I mean, the components that you have the dry conditions. That severe weather is first off, it's to the north of you, and also it's now to the east of you. So you have that. You have the dry conditions. You have the red flag warning. All right, so that's for that high fire danger. But you have the high wind warning. That's a huge thing for wildfire spread. Those wildfires, once they get going, they're going to go fast. This is a prime time environment for wildfires to, get going. And so please, 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 I don't care if you're not in the red flag warning. If it's dry and if it's windy out there, I don't care. Just don't mess with anything flammable. Don't use anything flammable outside. because we can't risk the chance for seeing wildfires to this magnitude, and we already have. We already are dealing with a wildfire that is actually causing evacuation. So this is one of those very dangerous situations, and this is in the Colorado area. And I mean, Colorado does have a lot of mountainous regions, but keep in mind, on the east side of things in Colorado, there are a few populated areas. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be a very dangerous day, and I think also in the next few days we will have a very high fire danger.
Yeah, for sure. So I was actually taking a look at this evacuation immediate. It does say pre-evacuation orders canceled, but just because they canceled it this one time does not mean we're anywhere near done. I believe the wildfire is still ongoing. It was just canceled for this specific area. All right. And even in this evacuation immediate warning, they still say, please drive slowly and watch for emergency vehicles because there are people that are going to need help. So if you are there in Colorado, make sure that you are pulling over for those emergency vehicles because they have a very important job to do to help out those people. So finally, let's go and talk about these watches, warnings, and advisories. A severe thunderstorm watch will remain in effect for a portion of eastern Kansas here, just for a little bit, I do believe. It's not going to be very long. We don't even have any severe thunderstorm warnings there. That severe weather statement, that blue polygon you're seeing there, is for a severe thunderstorm warning that has been removed, all right? So nothing too crazy going on. I don't really think it's going to pick back up tonight in that area. Obviously, you got your fire warning up there in northeast Colorado. Pinks, that hot pink color, that's your red flag warning, but the dark brown color, as Mr. Storm said, those are your high wind warnings. You don't want to play around. You don't want to be starting, like don't go camping and start a fire if you are in those high wind warnings. That's just really stupid. That can spread so easily whenever it's windy and dry like it is in this area. The pinks, those are your winter storm warnings, not the hot pink, the other pink color. On the back side of this system, we do have quite a bit of snow falling in parts of Wyoming, South Dakota, even parts of northern Nebraska, okay? So quite a bit of snowfall in there. We do have quite a few freeze warnings and freeze watches as well as frost advisories out here in the eastern United States, so be sure to protect that sensitive vegetation. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So, do you have any final words, Mr. Storm?
I'm just gonna say that it's gonna be a very active stretch of weather, and it's gonna be very dangerous because you have the eclipse. So when you put all these things together, you just want to make sure that everyone is staying weather aware. That's the most important part with events like these, and it may seem to you like it's not that crazy. I mean, other than the fire risk, and also it's not for a huge populated area, but keep in mind that the severe threat is going to be, continuously returning to us for the next few days, and this is a legit threat of severe weather, and I would not be surprised if any one of these days got upgraded to an enhanced risk, and in the future we'll break down day by day these risks, and I'm sure Davis will too, so I will on my channel, and Davis will as well. But yeah, I just want to keep everyone, assured that this will be an active structure of weather, and that the best thing you can do right in this situation is to stay weather aware.
Yeah, not only stay weather aware, but, whether you're dealing with severe storms or fires, if you need an update on it, we're posting pretty frequently, all right? I go live for pretty much every severe weather event, so make sure that you're subscribing to both of our channels for frequent weather updates anywhere in the country, all right? We both pretty much cover the entire country. It's going to be a lot of help for you guys in the future, I do think, and I don't have any plans on stopping these kinds of videos anytime soon, and I don't think Mr. Storm does either, because I know we both love doing this. So yeah, I do want to thank you all for watching this video. Thank you for the support on the channel recently. It's been crazy. We're almost at 800 subs already. Go subscribe to Mr. Storm. I will pin the link to his channel in the description if I remember. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.